Hello and welcome to Cultivating Daily Gratitude. If this is the first time we've encountered one another, my name is Kristen Clark, and I am the keeper of a grateful jar, a daily ritual in which I note all that I am grateful for from every day and lovingly offer it at bedtime to my grateful jar. And at the end of the year, I pause amid holiday merrymaking and I sift and I sort and I revisit note after note after note, and I marinate in a year's worth of gratitude. The Grateful Jar Project has morphed from very humble beginnings and transformed into being an unexpected bestseller. And as such, I have become a gratitude advocate. So it all began as a curious experiment. You see, I'd toyed around with gratitude practices in the past, on and off, admittedly, more off than on, but I've noticed very, very clearly that in the times that I was actively participating in a daily gratitude practice, life seemed, dare I say it, easier. So I couldn't help but wonder, how would my life respond if I committed to focusing deliberately on what I had to be grateful for every day for a calendar year, no matter what? Now, what I didn't realize at the time is that gratitude practices have been researched in depth and they've been scientifically proven. They've got benefits such as reducing our stress levels. Gratitude practice improves our physical health and actually enhances our sense of vitality. Our physical aches and pains have been documented as being lowered when we're actively participating in a gratitude practice. And it increases our ability to physically heal. Now, this isn't just wishful thinking. This has been confirmed by study after study with cardiac patients post-op. It increases our ability to physically heal on a cellular level. A gratitude practice also boosts the levels of serotonin and oxytocin, which are, of course, the feel-good hormones. It improves our quality of sleep, and you don't need me to tell you that when you've had a good night's sleep, the following day is usually much, much better. A gratitude practice also reduces depression and lowers our anxiety. It amplifies our hope and optimism, and it increases our psychological resiliency. Again, these have been tested, documented time and time again. It's a bit of the social glue in that it increases more empathy and reduces our aggression, so it strengthens our relationships and our communities. And overall, it inspires people to be more kind, generous, and helpful. So here's the flow for today. We're going to dive straight into your takeaway. So please grab that pen and paper that I've asked you to have ready. I'm going to explain to you the number one gratitude pitfall, because who on earth would have thought there could be one? And then we're going to prime the pump by touching on the 10 areas of gratitude. And we're doing this so that you don't have that defeated moment of, but I don't have anything to be grateful for. And I'm also going to share some of my secret ingredients for a thriving daily gratitude practice. So let's go. I promised a creative takeaway, so please grab that pen and paper because we're going to play for a moment. Now, no worries, no creative skill is needed, just an open mind. I would like you on that pen or on that piece of paper to put your hand out flat and to trace your handprint. Do you remember doing this at elementary school? And while it may have been a long time since you've done it, or maybe you've done it more recently, we are taking our mark. And so once you've got your handprint out, I'm going to prime the pump and get you started by providing some fuel, fuel for your gratitude practice, by exploring the 10 areas of gratitude. So as I go, I want you to jot down on your page around the handprint anything you identify with as being grateful for. They don't have to be big things. At this point, we're just collecting little bits and pieces. It'll all come together at the end. So little bullet points, just begin collecting the possibility as to the things that you can identify as being grateful for. And as I mentioned, for the time being, please leave the inside of your handprint blank. But before we start, I'd like to address the number one gratitude pitfall, because there is one. And by telling you this information, we can avoid it and navigate around it straight away. So everything is made up of energy. What you're watching this on is made up of energy. What you're sitting on is made up of energy. But what is also made up of energy are our thoughts, our emotions, and our words. Sometimes when we're expressing gratitude, it comes out more like relief. Relief that something is no longer being endured. For example, I sure am grateful I don't live there anymore. I'm going to say it again. I sure am grateful I don't live there anymore. When you look at the energy of that statement, what's it attached to? It's attached to what was. And further, what you're relieved is over. And when you think of that statement, when you really connect with your heart in that statement, I sure am grateful I don't live there anymore. Doesn't really feel good, does it? Now let's compare that to, I love where I live. I'm grateful for the amount of natural light and how clean it is. I sure am grateful I don't live there anymore. I love where I live. I'm grateful for the amount of natural light and how clean it is. Can you feel the difference? So when we're expressing gratitude, we need to be very aware of what our energy is attached to. It's really important that we make a deliberate effort to be in appreciation and not connect to what is no longer being experienced. So back to the task at hand. Get it? Task at hand? Okay, sorry, pun out of the way. We're returning to our handprint. I'm going to go through the 10 areas of gratitude, and I invite you to just jot down very quick notes as to what it is you can identify with as being grateful for. It doesn't have to be great big things. I want you to consider this a grocery list. All right, I'd like to introduce, drum roll please, the 10 areas of gratitude. Area number 1, basic needs. You have instant access to clean drinking water. You have the ability to quench your thirst any time you desire. You have easy access to healthy foods. Right this second, you're breathing clean air. Right this second, you are safe and you have shelter. Right this second, you are alive. And if you aren't, kudos to you for dialing into the webinar. So while it seems cheesy, honestly, give yourself a second to pause and really connect with how easily your basic needs are being met right now, and jot them down around your handprint. Area number 2, our body. You breathe without having to deliberately instruct your body to do so. Can you imagine how little you'd get done in a day if you had to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. You are regenerating cells. You are digesting. Blood is flowing. And chances are, everything internally is likely where it belongs and is safely contained. Take a second and appreciate everything that your body is doing for you, second by second, without you having to give it any thought or instruction. And you can pause this video at any time if you need longer to really connect and to brainstorm and to write down those bits and pieces around your handprint. So take a second and appreciate how much your body is doing for you at any given second without you having to give it any thought or instruction. Your body and all it does for you is no small miracle. So what can you write down that you've done with your body today that you hadn't given much thought about until now? Gratitude area number 3, immediate surroundings. Take a good look around you and jot down something you can be grateful for. Maybe it's that you have privacy. Maybe it's that you have a device to watch this on. Maybe it's that you have an uninterrupted moment to participate in this. Maybe it's that you have a place to sit down. Or maybe it's that you've got a mug full of warmth. When we really start fine-tuning our attention to all of the different opportunities that there are to experience gratitude, the possibility blows wide open and we find even more and more experiences to be grateful for. Area number 4, social gratitude. I'd like you to write down the name of someone that makes you laugh. You don't even need to know them. If they make you laugh, put them on that piece of paper. I would like you to write down the name of someone that makes your heart burst wide open with love. Doesn't have to be a person. It can just as easily be an animal. The key is someone that makes your heart burst wide open with love and being grateful for them and that emotion you have towards them. I would like you for a minute to consider all of the people that are indirectly a part of your daily well-being. There's the farmer that grows your food, the first responders that have your back in the darkest of moments, the team that keeps the internet running. Write down some specific people that you are grateful for. Gratitude area number 5, sensory delights. What can you hear right now that you are grateful for? Maybe it's bird song. Maybe it's raindrops. Maybe it's a loved one singing. What can you hear right now that you are grateful for? What can you feel right now that you are grateful for? What can you see right now that you are grateful for? And when we went through our body and the functions that it does for us, was your sight, was your hearing on the list of aspects that you're grateful for? What have you tasted today that you are grateful for? What can you smell right now that you are grateful for? Gratitude area number 6, material gratitude. Now remember, pause this recording at any time you need to really connect and brainstorm all the little things that come up within these areas that you can be grateful for. Back to material gratitude. What is your favorite belonging in your entire home? Maybe coming up with one is too difficult. Come up with as many as you can. What do you love that you have? What is your favorite piece of clothing? What is your favorite gadget? What is your favorite mode of transportation? And if you have easy access to this favorite mode of transportation, that's something to be grateful for as well. So what do you love about your home? Maybe it's not the belongings. Maybe it's an aspect. Maybe it's the ceiling, or maybe it's a nook. Maybe it's your bathtub. What do you love about your home? Jot it down around that handprint. Area number 7, cycles, transitions, and milestones. Now, these aren't going to be frequent events, but it's powerful to honor and hold gratitude for them. Maybe it's the change of seasons and the cycle of growth. Maybe it's supporting a loved one in transition. For those of you that know me, you know that my oldest daughter just graduated high school and left my nest and moved into her very first apartment 6 hours away to embark on her post-secondary education. And to be able to support her in that moment of transition when she prepared to leave my nest and embark in the wild, wild world, it was an honor to be able to positively support her in that transition. And I will forever be grateful to be able to do that. Now, maybe you're grateful for being able to be there for a friend, whether that's listening to them when they need a moment, or maybe it's being consulted for advice. If you've been consulted for advice recently, that is a huge sign of respect, something to be grateful for. Area number 8, and a total game changer, which I probably should have put this one under my secret ingredients: today's experiences. Did you witness or experience a random act of kindness today? Did you observe love between anyone today? This might seem cheesy, but sometimes I like to just go around town and witness love. Maybe it's a couple holding hands. My favorite are the senior couples holding hands. Maybe it's a grandmother pausing with her grandchild to show them the wonder of wisteria pods hanging overhead. The world is full of love. And when we deliberately choose to seek it and to observe it, we see more and more of it. Did you receive a compliment today? And did you allow yourself to really appreciate it and let it in? That's something to be grateful for. Jot it down. Did you have the opportunity to really wow someone today? Maybe this is you performed a random act of kindness. Maybe this is in your professional life. You were able to really deliver a phenomenal customer experience. These are opportunities to be grateful for. Were you perhaps forgiven for something today? Now, maybe this is you forgiving yourself for something today. Maybe this is you letting yourself off the hook about something. There's a phenomenal shift when we choose to be kinder to ourselves and let ourselves off the hook. And we can learn to be grateful for those moments. Now, the reason I say maybe I should have put this in with the secret ingredients is because when we remember to look very specifically at the events of our day, we add an entirely new level to our gratitude practice, and we've increased our mindfulness towards present moment. Area number 9, lessons learned and wisdom gained. Now again, this is another area that you may not be experiencing every day, but it's important to cast our net wide open and acknowledge our growth. Because once we start watching for it and acknowledging it, I have a hunch that you'll find out that you're gaining insights more often than you ever would have thought. Area number 10, and my personal favorite, synchronicities and conversations with the universe. I am a firm believer that the universe is constantly talking to us and even plays with us when we're open to recognizing it. So synchronicities in conversations with the universe, these could be that moment when you're thinking of someone and a song comes on the radio that reminds you of them. It could be the moment when something you've been looking for finally appears. A daily gratitude practice is rich and hearty nourishment for our soul. And now I'm going to share with you some of my secret ingredients for a thriving daily gratitude practice. These ingredients allow the practice to transcend from a surface experience to a powerfully profound practice. My secret ingredients. Number 1, write it out by hand. Throughout all the studies of gratitude practices, it came up over and over again that writing it out by hand is far more beneficial than just thinking about it. As well, it's far more beneficial than entering it into an electronic device. It's as though when we write it out by hand, we've imprinted it onto our subconscious. Secret ingredient number 2, our language. Begin each sentence that you write out by hand with the words, "Today I am grateful." And just like writing it out imprints in our subconscious, the more often we tell ourselves, "Today I am grateful, today I am grateful," our subconscious mind automatically starts to look for things to be grateful for on its own. And we are essentially creating new neural pathways. Number 3, details. Now, you may have found that when you're writing down the little bullet points of things that you're grateful for, when I go through the 10 areas of gratitude, you probably aren't humming yet, you know, when it all just reverberates in just like a struck gong. So it's important, instead of just doing the little blurbs that we write out by hand, that we begin it with, "Today I am grateful," and we anchor that sentence with specific details. Imagine for a moment that your bullet points are beads. We can string them together and create something spectacular through details. And my secret ingredient number 4 includes specific events from today. as I mentioned earlier, this really grounds us in the present moment. It keeps us present, and we begin to savor and love our life. So now the moment of anticipation has arrived where you've probably been like, why am I keeping the center of my handprint blank? Because taking those secret ingredients that I shared with you before, writing it out by hand, beginning the sentence with, today I am grateful, including details and including aspects from today, I would like you to take those ingredients and mix them all together. And in the center of your handprint, craft a sentence. Today, I am grateful for. You can combine as many of the bullet points on your page as you'd like. You can name specific people. You can include senses. Doesn't have to just be one sentence. Maybe it grows into 3. But I would like you to write in that sweet, sweet spot where we've left our mark. Today, I am grateful for, and anchor it with a detailed sentence. Pause this, take as long as you'd like, because it is that important. So, the greatest obstacle I encountered when I first embarked on my adventure in gratitude was to remember to do it. It's important that we be able to anchor this new habit that we're developing. So how are you going to anchor the experience? Maybe you're going to set some alarms. Maybe you're going to write yourself a sign. Maybe you're going to take that handprint and put it on your bedroom wall or your bathroom wall or somewhere that captures your attention and starts you to realize, I need to pause and find what I'm grateful for. Now, I have another complimentary offering that I call 7 Grateful Days. And it is an email broadcast, for lack of a better term, where I will support you in developing and establishing your daily gratitude practice for 7 full days. You'll receive an email in the morning to help you get started, and you'll receive an email at night to remind you to put pen to paper and to record your gratitude. And if you're interested, you can access 7 Grateful Days at my website, www.kristenclark.ca. Please note, it's not the traditional spelling, not my doing. And you can go to the menu and you'll find 7 Grateful Days under free stuff or free offerings. And you can also find me on Instagram at Kristen Clark. You can find me on Facebook as Keeper of the Grateful Jar. And the Grateful Jar Project is available on Amazon and at local bookstores. And if your local bookstore doesn't have it on the shelf, ask them to bring it in for you. Check your local library. Many of them have book club copies because the Grateful Jar Project has been picked up and savored by so many book clubs. And if you're so inclined, I also upload a weekly astrological energy forecast every Monday on YouTube. Now, if you're looking for an inspirational speaker or a podcast guest, I am an advocate for gratitude because our words have power. That's why it's called spelling. So if you're looking for an inspirational speaker, whether it's for your AGM or a volunteer appreciation, I've talked to church congregations, I've talked to support groups, let's connect. Like I said, the website is www.kristenclark.ca, and under Work With Me, you'll find my full speaker's kit. And if you happen to know of an organization or association you think that I would be a good fit for, I'd love to hear from you. Because at the end of the day, I love connecting. So please feel free to email me at kristenclarkcreates@gmail.com. I'd even love to hear how you enjoyed this. So thank you so very much for your time, your contemplation, and your energy today. I hope you have your handprint mounted by the end of the day in a spot where you see it regularly. A reminder to pause and to reconnect with your gratitude. Thumpity thump thump, thumpity thump thump, beats my grateful, grateful heart. Thanks for being here. I hope you have a great afternoon.